To my black people, once again, welcome to Africa Renaissance Show. And this is where the pride of each and every black man from anywhere in the world is my business. And before I proceed, have a look at this video and then I'll make my comments after.
They are the children of slave masters and colonizers. That is what they are. I have seen you say many times, I am a Pan-African. I say the same thing about myself. But listen, you cannot be a Pan-African and religious person at the same time. You cannot be a Sunni Muslim, Christian, and Pan-African at the same time. You cannot be a religious and Pan-African. Because every religion in Africa is against African agenda, is against African development, is against African people. So you cannot say I'm a religious person and a Pan-African at the same time. That is impossible. So which one are you? It's a tough choice, but which one are you?
My black people, there you have it. Yes, this Somali brother is saying that you cannot be religious and Pan-African at the same time. You cannot be a Christian and a Pan-African at the same time, and you cannot be a Muslim and a Pan-African at the same time. And what I have to say is that I agree with this Somali brother 100%. And the reason why I say this is because if you look at the history of Africa before colonization, what happened is that Christian missionaries were sent first so that they could prepare the ground for colonization to happen. And when the white missionaries came to the African continent, they taught us Christian values which I believe, made us more docile and made us ripe for colonization. And why do I say this? If you look at some of the Christian values or Christian principles, like one of the verses, I remember when Apostle Peter, came to Jesus and asked Jesus, Lord, how many times should I forgive a brother or a sister who sins against me? And Jesus responded by telling him that it is not 7 times, but 77 times in a day. Yeah? So just imagine, yeah? You're supposed to forgive someone for 77 times in a day. And so the white missionaries came to the African continent and started preaching these Christian values at a time when they were aware that colonization was just about to happen. And so when colonization actually happened, the white people and white governments came to the African continent and they committed various unspeakable atrocities. They committed various crimes like murders, large dispossessions of the people, left, right, and center. And before I forget, there is this verse in the Bible where they say that if someone slaps you on the right cheek, hand to them the other cheek also. And the same verse goes on to say that if someone sues you to take your shirt, hand to them your coat also. So you see how these verses in the Bible, were meant to make Africans more docile so that they could not respond or react to the atrocities which were committed by the white colonizers. And the other point that I want to say is that, when the white missionaries came to the African continent, they taught us that everything African was bad and that everything Western was good. Yeah? And in so doing, they ended up demonizing African cultures and practices and made us a confused people. In most African cultures, there was the concept of instant justice. And what this meant is that if you wronged someone, retaliation was instant. And so I think if African customs and practices had survived, maybe we could not have been so accepting of the atrocities and the crimes that were committed by white people against the black people during the time of colonization. What do you think? And that's all for us for today. And if you want to watch more of this content, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Goodbye.